All right, I'd like to call the March meeting of the Lafayette City Council to order. If everyone could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the
To
flag
the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which stands
One nation,
Nation,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
and for all.
Did he get on? There he is.
All right. Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call vote, or roll call, please?
Heidi? Mr. Heidi, you're muted.
Oh, you got me?
Yeah, I got you. Clinker?
Here.
Nargi?
Here.
Reynolds?
Here.
Campbell?
Here.
Brown? I see Perry. Allersmeyer? Here. Downing? Mr. Downing on? Williamson?
Here.
Quorum present.
All right, thank you. We need to do the approval of the minutes of our February 1st meeting. Kevin?
So moved.
Ms.
Second.
Margie? Oh, thank you. Presentation and disposal of claims.
Oh, we'll have to do a roll call vote,
Oh,
Melissa.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Hopefully it's our last one.
Hopefully.
Heidi? Blinker?
Here.
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Campbell?
Aye.
Brown?
Perry, wake up.
There he is. Okay, Allersmeyer? Aye. Downing, are you on, Mr. Downing, yet? Okay, and, okay, that's it then. All right. Minutes passed, 7-0.
Okay. I'm sorry, I got kicked off again. Are there presentation, disposal of claims,
There are none.
presentation of petitions and communications,
There are none.
reports of city offices on file in the city clerk's office?
Renew Department Monthly January and the 2020 Annual Report. Police Department Monthly January. Fleet Maintenance Monthly January. Waterworks Department Monthly January and 2020 Annual Report. Lafayette Fire Department 2020 Annual Report.
Thank you. Just for the reminder that those are on file in the clerk's office if anybody would like to see them during the normal hours. We do have several ordinances for second reading tonight.
Ordinance number 2021-04 and amendment to ordinance number 2010-11, inclusion of certain property in the local parent Cason Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Madam President, I move for passage of ordinance 2021-4 on second and final reading.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, Mr. Collier?
Yes, I'm here and available to answer any questions. This is the second reading for this designation of the local historic district. The property address is actually 1511 Ferry Street. And I'm happy I can go over the information again if you like, or if you want to just ask questions, I'd be happy to do either.
Does anybody have any questions or concerns for this ordinance? All right, hearing none, I think we're ready for a roll call vote.
Heidi?
Aye.
Blinker?
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Campbell?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
I see you, Allersmeyer. Aye. I'm still going to ask for Mr. Downing. Are you on yet? Okay, and, all right, that's it. So ordinance passes 7-0.
All right, thank you. And our second ordinance of the evening is ordinance number 2021-05.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local Highland Park, 816 South 9th Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Madam President, I move for passage of ordinance 2021-5 on second and final reading.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Ms.
Second.
Allersmeyer?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Collier?
Once again, I'm happy to provide any information you're all interested in hearing, but this is again designation of a new local historic district at 816 South 9th Street, and that would be in the Highland Park area.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions or concerns from the council? All right, hearing none, I think we're ready for the roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Downing, are you here? Evidently not. Okay, ordinance passes 7-0.
All right, thank you. Now we're ready for ordinance number 2021-06.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local 508 Perrin Avenue Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Thank you. Mrs.
Madam
Nargi?
President, I move for passage of ordinance 2021-06 on second and final reading.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Mrs. Nargi?
I second it.
Thank you. And Mr. Collier again?
Okay, this is for a property being designated as a local district at 508 Perrin Avenue, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. Any questions or concerns from the council?
Madam President, can I interrupt just a second
Sure.
before you take your vote?
Of course.
Andy or Cindy, could you please, I've been on the phone with Mr. Downing. He has some pulled up, but it's obviously not us. Could one of you resend him the appropriate link so we can see if we can get him logged in before we get to the ordinances that are up for first reading this evening that nobody has heard? Could one of you please try to resend him that link?
Yes, I can email that to him.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam President, for your indulgence.
Thank you.
Try to get
Thank you,
him on.
Mr. Okay, any questions or concerns about ordinance 2021-06? And then I think we're ready for a roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
Thank you. Okay, our last ordinance for second reading tonight is ordinance number 2021-07.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local Ellsworth 633 Oregon Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Thank you.
I move for passage of ordinance 2021-06 on second and final reading.
Thank you.
07, isn't it?
07.
Yes. It's
07,
over.
yeah.
Excuse me.
Mr. Heidi?
Are we seconding this?
Yes, please.
Second.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Collier, do you have anything to add?
Nothing further unless there are questions.
All right, any questions or concerns about this ordinance? All right, then I think we're ready for the roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
and Mr. Downing, are you there yet? Okay, ordinance passes 7-0.
Thank you. And by the way, I'll have 4 new districts to bring before you next month.
Oh, great, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be looking forward to that.
Yes, appreciate all of your support.
Okay, no luck getting Mr. Downing on?
Not yet, it doesn't look like.
All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and hopefully he'll join us quickly. We're ready for our ordinances for first reading.
Ordinance 2021-08, an ordinance amending chapter 9.04, smoking in public places and places of employment.
Madam President, I move for passage of ordinance 2021-08 on first reading.
Thank you. Kevin, Mr. Clinker.
I second.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Mr. Mayor, are you going to talk to us?
Yes, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the council, the amendment to this ordinance before you deals strictly with city-owned property. As you know, we passed this ordinance several years ago, and since then, the Parks Board has also passed an ordinance to keep our parks smoke-free. What this ordinance does now is also keeps outdoor areas outside of our city buildings, Reilly Plaza, things like that. It keeps these outdoor areas around city property also smoke-free. The area out in front of City Hall, after you get past that, 8 or 10 foot from the front door, that's required. We'd like to keep all the areas smoke-free so people walking up to the building, can have a smoke-free experience also if somebody's moved forward. And so we think this, in promoting a healthy community, this is another good step, and the city is leading by example that way. So I appreciate your approval for this amendment to the ordinance regarding outside space around city-owned property.
All right, thank you. Are there questions or concerns from council members?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
How far out does it extend? Like if you have an event is at Reilly Plaza but spills down into the street, will it like the 4th of July concert or something, will it extend to that as well? Or like Mosey's and things like that?
Actually, it extends, and if I explain this wrong, I'll have Jackie clarify. It extends down to the sidewalk that adjoins city property, but it does not go down into the street.
That is correct.
Any other questions or concerns? Okay. All right, then. I guess we're ready for a roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds, Jerry. Mr.
Aye.
Reynolds? Okay. Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Olishmeyer?
Aye. Aye.
Okay. And Downing? Still not there. Okay, ordinance passes 7-0.
Okay, thank you. Now we're ready for ordinance 2021-09.
An ordinance amending the Lafayette Municipal Code pertaining to sewer service and wastewater control in the city of Lafayette by amending sections of chapter 6.01, 6.03, and 6.04.
Thank you. Mrs. Allersmeyer?
Madam President, I move we hear and approve ordinance 2021-09.
Thank you. Mr. Brown?
Second.
Thank you. And I believe Mr. Talley's going to speak to us about this ordinance.
Brad Talley with Lafayette Renew. This is an ordinance that we are required to look at every 5 years through our permitting process. If you remember in the past, we would come to you with a first reading with changes that we would propose, and then the ordinance would have to go to the EPA for approval before we brought it back for second approval. That process could last for years. And so they have streamlined it. So the EPA has already seen these changes.
We'll take them off.
And been instrumental in coming up with the changes that we have before you. I will be very happy to.
I know, but speaking.
I'll be very happy to go through each of these with you, or just hit the highlights, whatever's your preference.
Highlights.
I think if you could just hit the highlights, that'd be great.
Let's just pause.
Hey, Brad, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second. Mr. Downing?
Yes.
You are on. We can see you, but your mic is live, so we can hear you talking.
Okay,
You
good.
are on. Okay.
Okay, so on the highlights for this, for the changes for this ordinance, most of them are adding language right out of the EPA's handbook. And so the first two items are such. The third item, we are going to add the explanation that disposable and flushable wipes are added to the list of items that could cause obstructions in the sewer system. Many of you have probably heard this has become a large problem across the country. The flushable or disposable wipes, as they are, create problems in the lift stations. They create problems in the sewers, and then even at the wastewater treatment plant. So that's one of the main items that is added to this ordinance. One of the concentration limits that we have altered is the cyanide and lead concentration limits. We have lowered those to match what we see in residential areas. So those went from 0.041 for cyanide to 0.015 and 0.015 to 0.01 for lead. So those have changed. We added a paragraph adding total phosphorus to the list of prohibited substances. We have gone through this in the past and we have applied that to all of the industrial permits, but we had never really in the sewer use ordinance had its own section. And then the last thing I'll touch on, well, two more things. The grease and oil traps, we have clarified some language just through some of the issues that we've seen in the past. We had establishments that wanted to share a grease trap, and that didn't work out very well. And then we've also had establishments try to put degreasers or some sort of chemicals in their system, and that would just pass the grease problem along into the collection system. So we did add language there to clarify some of the issues that we've seen in the past and try to help prevent those in the future. And then the very last thing I'll touch on is the penalty section. When we created this, somehow we had put language in there that the fines would be not less than $1,000, and the correct language is, no, I'm sorry, it was not more than 1,000 language, and the correct language is not less than $1,000 to be consistent with Indiana administrative codes. I know that's a lot, but I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you.
I have a question, Mr. Talley, if I could, Madam President.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the restaurant traps, how does that get communicated out? There's a lot of small restaurants and, startups and here and there. And how do we get that to everybody? Is that a Board of Health list, or how do we find out who all the people are?
Well, if it's a new restaurant, or if it's a restaurant that's going through modifications, it'll go through the permitting process through engineering. We also have a very proactive grease trap ordinance or grease trap program where we go out and we inspect each trap on a, I don't know if it's quarterly or twice a year basis. So we're in pretty constant communication with the owners of the restaurants. So the owners that are there now, we keep pretty good contact with, and then anybody that's starting up a new business would go through the permitting process through engineering.
Great. I just want, if somebody thought I'm just starting up and they weren't sophisticated enough, or, that just something in the top of mind, how they would find out. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or concerns? All right, seeing none, I guess we're ready for a roll call vote. Oh, was there any public comment?
I received none.
Okay, then I think we're ready for roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Argy,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell, Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Talley, for your work on that. Now we're ready for ordinance 2021-10.
An ordinance adopting a new chapter to the Lafayette Municipal Code 4.17 Parklets and Streeteries.
Thank you. Mr. Reynolds? Did we lose him?
No, he's
Um,
muted.
Muted. Jerry, you're muted.
Oh,
Madam President, I move to hear ordinance 2021-10 on the first reading.
thank you. Mr. Downing?
Second.
Thank you. All right, and Ms. Deverall, I hear you're going to speak to this one?
I can. This is something, parklets, streeteries is a more recent term that we've been using of late, but parklets is something that we have been looking at since 2015. It's an on-street public space taking up one or two parking spaces. In this case, there are a couple downtown restaurants who are interested in a parklet or a streetery where it would actually be an extension of their dining area. The two proposals that we have in the engineer's office right now are both locations that worked with Purdue student class back in 2015, doing some proposals of what that parklet might look like. So working with Jackie, and Jackie can answer more technical questions than I can. As far as the ordinance permitting it, obviously safety is a primary concern. ADA compliance is a big concern, but I think obviously coming from the Economic Development Department, a big concern is helping downtown businesses stay in business, given the challenges that they've had over the past year. If we can make a space which is basically, I would call it a scaled down version of Fresh Air Eats, where the streets were closed down and restaurants were able to, have outdoor space and expand their seating. This would be something that would allow an outdoor eating space similar to a sidewalk cafe, which is already permitted in our ordinance, would allow it without having to close the street, because that's something that causes problems for other businesses that wouldn't necessarily be utilizing the parklet. So I guess that's kind of a nutshell. Jackie, I don't know if there's anything I missed you want to add to that.
No, I think you covered the intent of the program very well. If any of the council members have questions about the ordinance or how it's structured for people to participate, I'm happy to answer those.
I just have one question. Jerry Reynolds here. When I know we don't like closing the streets because I tried to get down a couple of times and I finally just gave up. So, and I know many other people, that's been one of the complaints of closing the streets. But then what happens if we close off some parking areas? And it seems to be we don't have, enough parking down for some of the restaurants anyway, or the eateries or the pickups. Then what are we just building another problem?
I might speak to that. A number of years ago, I and another planner in our office did a parking study. I know that there was one paid for more recently, but what we found was that there were always open spaces. In this case, the people who would be applying for the parklet would be giving up the two spaces in front of their physical building. So they're the ones who are going to be the most directly impacted. Another thing that I bring up often, during the Mosey's, all of the parking on the street is gone. all of it. Yet there are thousands of people downtown. So to say that there are no parking spaces downtown because 2 or 4 or 6 are taken up for a business to expand space for their clientele, I think is, I'm not going to say what I'm thinking. It's wrong. There are plenty of places. There is free parking at night and on weekends in the parking garages. We're talking about some spaces that are physically on Main Street, and there are plenty of parallel streets and side streets for people to park. Can they park directly in front? No. But that's kind of I don't know.
Well, Margie, one thing I think is important for the council to know also is this is not just automatic. Even if you pass this ordinance, if you read the ordinance, it has to go to the parking commission and they have to apply and the parking commission has to vote. So if there are adjacent business owners or people that are concerned, they'll have the ability to come to the parking commission and voice their concerns, and the citizens on the parking commission will then the pros and the cons and make a decision. So this ordinance just does not automatically guarantee somebody the ability to do this. They do have to go to the parking commission to get approval, and everybody will have a right to voice their concerns if there are concerns. And certainly we think that it can help some businesses. And once we get the new parking garage done, it certainly won't be an issue anymore because there'll be 500 spaces within one block of Main Street. So we feel we'll be in pretty good shape. But I do think it's important that people know this is not a guarantee you pass this and they can just do it. They have to go to the parking commission, and other business owners, if they are concerned, will have the right to speak out against it. And the citizens on the parking commission will have to make a decision.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, the term I couldn't come up with was strip center. The downtown is not a strip center. So there's no guarantee that you are going to have X number of parking spaces immediately in front of your business. So I think what we believe is expanding because Fresh Air, well, first of all, because Fresh Air Eats was so successful and so well attended by the public, we feel like having a scaled down version of that with these parklets and streeteries, it will be an attraction. People will come downtown. And if that's where they want to go, parking a block away and walking is not going to stop someone from coming downtown and eating at that restaurant. So, but it does go through an approval process. It does, the engineer's office looks at it and approves it, again, just like the sidewalk cafes.
Madam President, I had a comment.
Go ahead.
This came through historic preservation as well. And I'm very excited for the outdoor dining. That's a great thing, and I think that helps our community. The two things I was concerned about is how the parklets and if they build board, there was talk about fencing or boards or things to separate it, and also during storms how the winds come through. And John at the time thought that it would be reviewed annually. So they would see if they were coming in disrepair, which was a concern, and he's met that. And also they said the engineer's office will be looking at whatever is built and making sure it's secure so that if we have a storm, it's not going to fly down the sidewalk and hurt somebody. So those two items were addressed, and it sounds like is going to be taken care of. Can I ask the city attorney, is that accurate?
That is accurate. There are design standards that have been established to make sure that they are built safely, that they will withstand. The engineer's office does approve any of the parklets that are proposed, and it is an annual basis. So we've tried to cover everything that we can to make sure that there's public notice involved through the parking commission of making sure we're doing this. The design and safety standards are there so that we can, enact this program, which will benefit downtown, but in a safe and secure way.
Yeah, I thought hearing that for everybody might be helpful to, gaining their support. Thank you.
And they do have to be removed every year. The road has to be put back in its original condition, November 1st to April 1st. So we can plow and make sure we can do things like that.
Yeah, I was going to make that point. These are temporary. This isn't something that's going to be permanently in the street like a bump out. If that was something that they wanted, they would have to work through our office and have something permanently built there, similar to East End Grill or Lafayette Brewing Company. But these would be temporary.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When I read it, what's the difference between a parklet and a streetery? When I read it, the streetery had something about alcohol, but other than that, it looked like exactly the same wording. Is that right?
No, a parklet is actually almost like a park. It's public. Anybody can use it anytime.
Okay.
A streetery is something that is initiated, constructed, and maintained by the restaurant that it is immediately in front of. And the use of it is exclusive to that restaurant during their open hours. And there would be a sign, and that's in the ordinance as well, it's in the design standards actually. There is a sign that says whether it's a parklet or a streetery, and if it is a streetery, when the restaurant hours are that it would have their exclusive use.
Okay. And if it's a park, anybody can sit there whenever they want.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So it's like a pocket. It's like a pocket park in the street.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Chief Doyle. Is there a traffic barrier around these?
There, it's too bad the ordinance doesn't also include the design standards that we've been working on, but it's the same community that we borrowed the ordinance from. We are also looking at their design standards, and there are wheel stops, curb stops on either end of it to keep people from backing up or driving into it on either side. And then on the street side, they have to be at least a foot back from the edge of the driving lane.
Okay.
So it's definitely safety is a big consideration.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Are there any other questions or concerns? All right, hearing none, I think we're ready for a roll call vote on ordinance 2021-10.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Madam President, just real quick too, on the last order, just know that we're going to watch very close, and if there are problems, we will address them. And if it doesn't work out as well as we want it to, then it's something we can come back to you with and just discontinue. But so please know that from a safety standpoint and everything, we're going to keep a very, very close eye on things and make sure that they're done right. We'll continue to evaluate how the program goes.
Very good. Thank you.
And in addition to that, I would just say it's something new that we are doing in this community. It has been done for years in other communities much larger than ours. So we have the benefit of learning from their experiences and and making those changes up front for those things to be safe and useful to everyone without causing problems. So.
Very good. Thank you. All right. I think we're ready now for ordinance number 2021-11.
An ordinance approving an amendment to lease between the City of Lafayette Redevelopment Commission and the City of Lafayette Redevelopment Authority relating to the financing and construction of a new police station and parking garage project and approving other matters related thereto.
Thank you. Ms. Nargi, what's your pleasure?
I move we hear ordinance 2021-11.
I second.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Mr. Mayor, do you want to speak first or do you want Mr. Vines to?
Well, I think I'm going to speak first to this since we have
Okay.
been through this several times and I've had a chance to speak with each one of you. We need to make an to the police station and parking garage project. As you know from our discussions, two things have happened. One, the project has gotten larger. We want to make sure that the police department has everything that they need to efficiently and effectively do their job, and that we also design a building that is welcoming to the community, has community space available, and is able to do all those multi-functions that we want it to be able to do, to provide that service, to build community relations, and to really change those dynamics. And so we have made the actual structure larger, which is going to be a little bit more expensive. And then, as I indicated, there's also the situation with the potential of needing to create a debt service reserve fund if we're not able to secure that through the insurance method that we typically do. As I have said, COVID, it's been explained to me from our advisors that COVID has made that certainly much more difficult and much more challenging in the market as it was previously. So we need to create ourselves some cushion in that, just in case we encounter that situation. If we don't, we won't bond for that much. This has just given us the ability to go up to 57.1 million if necessary. I'm still hoping for very good bids, and so the amount will be adjusted accordingly, but this allows us to go up to that 57.1 should it become necessary. So I would appreciate your support on this so we can continue to move this project forward. We're making very good progress, and everything is still on schedule now to begin work here at the end of the spring. And if you have any questions, I know Brenda DeFries is on the line from Bose, McKinney, and Evans, but nothing structurally has changed. This is simply an amendment, change that dollar amount should become necessary.
All right, thank you. Are there questions, concerns from the council? No questions? Is there any public comment?
I received none.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and conduct a roll call vote on this ordinance.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Olersmeyer,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
All right, thank you. Now, we're going to suspend the rules. We're going to vote here in a minute on that so we can hear this ordinance again in order to get it through in a timely manner due to concerns.
I move that the rules be suspended for the purpose of considering this ordinance.
Thank you.
I second.
Okay, thank you. Do we need to do a roll call vote on suspending the rules?
Yeah.
Okay.
Heidi,
I think,
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Heidi,
Aye. Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Vote passes to suspend the rules to hear the ordinance for second reading.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, did you want to speak again?
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that support. In 18 years, I've probably only been the rules less than a handful of times. Timing is important of this as we look at the bond market and we look at the ability to sell these bonds at the appropriate time. There's also a 30-day window here that we have to put out a notice, and maybe Brenda could explain that quickly, or someone from Baker and Tilly, but we'll have a notice that we have to get out. This allows us to get that out as soon as this meeting is done, so we can get this, try to get the best interest rate as possible. So Brenda, if you just want to, unless I've messed that up somehow, quickly explain what the next step is after this vote is completed this evening.
Sure. And I'm calling in on the phone as well, since I was having some audio issues to my computer. But as the mayor mentioned, after this ordinance is adopted, then we'll have to, there will be a 30-day objection period based on that lease, because this is a lease amendment. So that will put us to the middle of April, and we're hoping to close these by the end of April. So we're just trying to be sensitive to the rate. And I know that Jason Semler is also on the line, so if you have any other questions, one of our team members are happy to answer those for you.
Thank you. All right, do you have any questions?
Jason, do you have anything to add that you feel is necessary at this time?
Yeah, Matt, are you talking about is this the police station, or is this the refunding new money?
No, we're just talking about the police station.
Yeah, police station. No, as the mayor and Brenda said, we're moving forward. This is a great time to be in the market. So even with the larger size project, with the interest rates where they are, definitely have sufficient revenues from the existing TIF areas to make the anticipated payments that we're expecting. So no, great time. If we have to issue bonds, this is a great time to be in the market. So moving forward on that, and this is just the next step in the process.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or concerns from the council? Was there any public comment to this ordinance?
I received none.
Okay, then I think we're ready for a roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're ready now for ordinance 2021-12.
An ordinance authorizing the city of Lafayette, Indiana to issue its taxable economic development revenue and refunding revenue bonds, and approving and authorizing other actions in respect thereto.
Thank you. Mrs. Allersmeyer?
Madam President, I move we hear and approve ordinance 2021-12.
Second.
Mr. Brown? Oh. All right.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Mr. Mayor, are you going to speak to this one also?
Just quickly, thank you, everyone. We're very excited about the Luna project here and everything that's involved. I'm going to, since this is the first reading and some information, I am going to turn it over actually to Heather James of Ice Miller to go through what this ordinance means exactly, so you get the full explanation. When that's done, she'll turn it over to folks from Baker Tilly, talk about the financial piece, and then we'll turn it over to the owner, Andy Gutwein, who will have a presentation to show you about the project itself. So at this time, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Mayor. Can everyone still hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so as the mayor mentioned, before you this evening is the bond ordinance for introduction. And this ordinance approves the financing of the 631 Main Street project. And then also, if it's economically advantageous, it also approves the potential refinancing of one or more series of outstanding bonds, 2 that were issued in 2019 and 1 issued in 2015. And these bonds are structured in the way that the other developer deals have typically been structured in the city. So the bonds are payable from TIF revenues generated in the consolidated Central and consolidated Creasy Lane allocation areas. And they will, similar to those other financings, be on a parity with your outstanding parity obligations and junior and subordinate to those outstanding senior obligations. And then to the extent the TIF is insufficient to make the bond payments, the city may utilize general revenues, should they so choose, which are any legally available revenues that would be subject to annual appropriation. And the bonds are further secured by taxpayer payments pursuant to a minimum taxpayer agreement. So the ordinance is what you're used to seeing. It lays out the parameters for the bonds. So a maximum principal amount of $11 million, maximum maturity date of August 1, 2039, semi-annual principal and interest payments on each August 1 and February 1, the standard denominations, and a maximum interest rate of 6%. So on March 25th, the Economic Development Commission is anticipated to approve a resolution approving this financing and recommending that this council consider approval of this ordinance upon second reading on April 5th. So unless there are any questions specifically for me, I'll turn it over to Jason and Greg to summarize the financials.
Thanks, Heather. This is Jason from Baker Tilly. There's no questions from Heather. I'll kind of go over the financing. As Heather said, we're going through the financing for this project and going to, depending upon the interest rate on the bonds, we're going to generate about $3.6 million for the project. But because, as I mentioned earlier, the interest rates in the market is so favorable for the city right now, we looked at the outstanding bonds, and there's 3 bonds right now that have total principal about $6.4 million outstanding, with interest rates that range from 3.8% as high as the 5.39%. So since you're going through this process, the approval process, or going through this marketing process, it made financial sense to incorporate those 3 bond issues into this financing and to have one larger bond. And in those 3 bonds that we're looking at refinancing, the city will save about $80,000 a year in interest. So that's additional revenue that the city will have each year for projects in the TIF area that it can fund. So over the life of the bond issues, they'll save about $1.1 million in revenue. And discounting that back in today's time, with including the cash on hand, that's going to be about $500,000 of present value savings that the city will benefit from refinancing these 3 bonds. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, if there are no questions, Madam President, I'd like to turn it over to Andy Gutwein, the owner and developer of the project. And I think Andy Milam will be turning the screen over to Andy as the new presenter, and he'll be giving us a overview of the project called the Luna, 631 Main Street.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Madam Chairman. I would like to walk through just a few slides that I've prepared to give everyone an overview of the project being planned for 631 Main Street, as Mr. Mayor mentioned, be known as the Luna, and I'll get to that in just a minute here. If I can clear off the. So as I think everyone's familiar with the particular site that that we're talking about, it's currently a parking lot across from the Lafayette Brewing Company on Main between 6th and 7th Street, outlined there in purple. This is a photograph of what what this area of Main Street would have looked like in the 1950s and 60s, and you can see how the block was really filled in there. And you can, if you look close enough, you can see the Luna Theater there. This is a straight-on shot of the Luna Theater before it burned over 50 years ago. So since 1970, none of those pictures that we saw resemble what Main Street looked like. We've had a gap there on this part of Main Street. And, since I've been a part of downtown, I've always heard that, it's really critical that we have continuous storefronts for pedestrian flow. And this has always been the biggest gap in Main Street, one of the only gaps really on Main Street. And it's always served as a sort of a barrier between Upper Main and Lower Main. So I'm really excited to be able to see this gap filled back in after these years. Valley Oaks, the reason we've had this parking lot there for so long, Valley Oaks has needed that parking lot. They've operated their critical mental health services and whatnot out of that facility at 610 Main Street, adjacent to the Lafayette Theater. And so they've always used the parking lot, and they've always rebuffed offers in the past. But they are ready now to relocate to a newly renovated facility, and they were now ready to sell their building and parking lot, and so that time has arrived. So we're looking at the Luna to fill this 50-year gap. And a question I get is, why the Luna? And quite simply, to pay homage to the Luna Theater. The Luna is often it refers to the Earth's moon, Luna in Latin, and it also refers to a goddess, the ancient Roman personification again of the moon. So we would like to play up the Luna connection, play up the imagery that it brings to us, and allow it to note the history of this downtown site. Some of the particular challenges that we face on this site, we have to maintain access to the back of the Long Center. We need semis, tour buses, box trucks. All these vehicles have to be able to continue to access the back of the Long Center. We needed a lot of utility relocation, not only for this project, but also to improve the access to the Long Center, because there were some utility poles that really obstruct current loading and unloading at the Long Center. We needed to work on coordinating with the relocation of the utilities that were all related to the Pearl River. The city's made a tremendous investment in relocating the Pearl River in this area and some of the other adjacent areas to promote and assist with downtown development, redevelopment. We had some work that we had to coordinate with that. We certainly had to comply with the Historic Commission requirements, which are stringent requirements, but we really don't have any interest in building something that wouldn't fit downtown. So we were happy to receive their input and go through that process. Certainly, parking is always a premium downtown. When we're creating residential units, we want to make sure that we provide adequate parking. So in this case, it was necessary to create underground parking so that we could develop this as intended. Of course, general challenges. This project moving forward during this COVID time, which hopefully we're getting, and then construction costs are at historic. But all that aside, this is a rendering of the building. You can see Kathy's Candies before they closed. Is taken from the theater. This is an image, the view that you were standing at the corner in front of the Lafayette Theater, looking to the east. So this is one. We have one other view looking from. You'd be looking west down Main Street. Maybe if you were in front of approximately DT Kirby's, perhaps. At any rate, across from the Frontier Phone building that you can see on the left before the new building would start. The specifications of the building, there will be 98 units, just 4 studios, 51 one-bedroom units, 43 two-bedroom units for a total of 141 beds. We are providing 112 parking spaces, 68 of which will be below grade. 41 will be on the ground level, but they'll all be covered, and 3 handicap spaces, which will also all be covered. So all the parking will be either below grade or covered surface spots. We'll have approximately We'll have approximately 10,000 square feet of retail space, retail or office space on Main Street. We would expect between 3 and 5 tenants, but the final configuration will depend on who comes. We're looking for restaurants, coffee shops, and other traditional retail users. We would consider office users as well. But we'd really love to see a small grocery store. That might be a dream, but we'll pursue it. At this point, we have not really pursued any retail leads. As the project becomes a reality now, we'll begin to pursue retail uses. The building amenities, there'll be an upscale, classic modern is a way that I would describe it. It won't be old and stuffy, but it will have some classic lines. We'll have a hotel-style mail and lounge lobby on Main Street. So when you come in, it won't just be your normal, typical apartment hallway into your unit. You'll have a nice feeling lobby on the main floor. We'll have bike room for secure bike storage, an elevator lobby on each floor. We'll have a fitness room on the second floor. We'll have a rooftop dog walking area. It'll be off the second floor, and then a rooftop patio, which will be on the top of the building facing Main Street. I mentioned earlier, it'll be all covered parking, and we'll have keyless entry, not only at the exterior doors, but into the units as well. Our primary market will be young professionals and empty nesters. This is a overview of some of the plans. You can get a sense of a three-dimensional drawing of the building. And the lower two drawings are the Main Street views, and the upper drawings are the views you'd see not right on Columbia Street, but from Columbia Street. So if you were looking north from Columbia Street, you'd see the back of the building here. And you can note there on the upper left, you see the Long Center and the Frontier building labeled on there to help get your bearings. And then from the view from the west, you can see the Long Center as well as the Kathy's Candies building. This is simply a sketch of the underground parking. This is the first floor. You can see the ramp down to the lower level parking, as well as the future tenant spaces that shows the retail space along Main Street, shows the entrance to the apartments and the lobby and bicycle storage. This is a layout of the second floor. You can see the green roof patio. That'll be the dog walking area, and the fitness common areas on the second floor. Finally, you see the upper floors of the building, floors 3, 4, and 5. And then we have a roof plan that shows the rooftop patio, again, along Main Street, as well as facing, looking west as well. This is a color image of the rooftop patio. We'll have some artificial turf and some pavers, as well as the wooden slatted indicates a pergola type of area. And then these are just a real sketch of some of the interior finishes. Again, trying to get a classic modern look with some of the tile in the bathroom, herringbone pattern to the wood flooring, but then the gray painted cabinets and a gray slate type of material on the countertops. So, and that's the end. I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone might have, and flip back to any pictures that anyone might like to see.
Mr. Gutwein, did you say you said they were for young professionals and empty nesters? Are they all rentals, or are they condos, or any mix?
They are all rentals. They are rentals.
Okay. Also, I'd like to add, this came before the historic preservation, like Mr. Gutwein said. He was being a little bit modest. He was very open to all the changes and desired concerns. So I want to thank Mr. Gutwein for that process. He really worked hard on that.
Thank you, Mr. Klinker. And I would just say that as a result of that process, we have a better product than we did when we started.
All right, thank you. Are there any other questions or concerns from the council? Was there any public comment to this ordinance?
I received none.
All right, then I think we're ready for a roll call.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
County.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, everyone. This is a great project for downtown. Thank you for your support.
All right, thank you everyone for that. We're now ready for ordinance 2021-13.
An ordinance to vacate a portion of the public right-of-way in the city of Lafayette, Indiana, Colfax Street.
Mr. Brown, what's your pleasure?
Madam President, I move we hear and approve ordinance 2021-13 on first reading.
Mr. Heidi?
Sorry.
You're fine.
Second.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Menden is going to speak to this for us.
Yes, thank you. Ryan Munden with Reiling, Teeter and Schreier here on behalf of the petitioner, Thayers Enterprises, Inc. Thayers has been at the location on Schuyler Avenue since 2005. They started out as a painting business. They quickly kind of business boomed and have grown into other areas such as renovations and exteriors. And as a result, fortunately and unfortunately, they've outgrown their current space. Last fall, they acquired the 3 lots south of Colfax Street, which is south of their existing location on Schuyler, and had that property rezoned. Their goal now is to develop those 3 lots for warehouse and other flex space in order to allow them to continue to grow in this location. And they also intend to hire 5 more employees once they continue to grow their physical space. Like I said, they own the 3 lots to the north of Colfax, 3 lots to the south of Colfax that we're requesting be vacated. To the west is Whitenack and Brothers LLC. They own the old bowling alley that is going to be the new location for Antique Candle Works. They are in support of this request. They had intended to put a gate up to keep people from accessing their property off of this dead-end portion of Colfax. So I know they're definitely in support of this request. The vacation will not materially alter or affect access to any other properties in this area. Like I said, it's a dead-end street. We believe that by vacating this portion of the dead-end street, that it will provide for a more efficient development of this area and obviously used by Thayers. We have submitted a letter from Kevin Bull showing the value of this, that they're obviously willing to compensate the city for if this vacation is approved. So with that, we would respectfully request your approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, does anybody from the council have any questions? No questions?
I'm looking through the ordinance. I did not see the price. Has that been discussed yet, or is that still under negotiation, Mr. Munden?
We've provided Mr. Bull's valuation to Ms. Chosnick. It's $2,160. We have not received any response one way or the other with respect to that.
Okay.
Right, I will point out, so if the council recalls, back in 1997, we adapted a resolution that dealt with compensation on these vacations, improved right-of-ways that are being vacated. The resolution provides that compensation is to be paid at appraised value. We have used valuations from Kevin Bull in the past to determine what that value is. And so I did not see the letter in your packet, but if you need it, we can provide it. But that has been provided by Mr. Munden's office in connection with us.
Thank you, Ms. Chosnick. Any other questions or concerns? No, then I guess we're ready for a roll call vote, please.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
And I should have asked this earlier, and I'm assuming there was no public comment since you didn't bring
Correct.
anything up.
Correct.
Okay. And we do need to set a public hearing for this on April the 5th at 6:01.
So moved.
Okay.
Second, thank you.
I don't know. Oh, that was Downey, maybe. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. We'll need to get a roll call vote on that too, Melissa.
Do what? Sorry.
We'll need to get a roll call vote on that public hearing.
Okay.
Okay,
Can we go
Heidi?
ahead with that, please?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Public hearing's been set.
Thank you. All right, it looks like we have 3 resolutions tonight. The first one's resolution number 2021-04.
A resolution to amend the City of Lafayette Community Development Block Grant and the Lafayette Housing Consortium Home Program 1-year annual action plan for 2019.
Thank you. Mrs. Nargi?
I move we hear and approve resolution 2021-04.
Thank you. Mr. Clinker?
Second.
Thank you. And Ms. Oakley, are you going to speak to us on this?
Yes, Valerie Oakley, project manager with Lafayette Housing Authority. In January, the council approved a second amendment to the 2019 annual action plan that left $219,731 in an unallocated unallocated CARES Act COVID-19 funding line item. Due to the overwhelming need and a request through this Emergency Small Business Assistance Program, we are asking that that unallocated balance of the COVID-19 funding be allocated to the Small Business Emergency Program so that we can fund more loans to the small businesses. This amendment has been made available to the public since February the 12th. I have received no public comments, and at last check, the clerk's office had received no public comments on this amendment. Are there any questions about this?
Does the council have any questions or concerns about this resolution? Sounds like a good thing if we can continue to help people through this rough time.
Our small
Agreed.
business loan program that Dennis Carson has been administering with Valerie and Michelle Reynolds to our locally owned businesses and restaurants downtown has been incredibly well received, and this money will be able to finish out those the ones we've identified.
Well, good. I'm glad we're going to be able to help people right now. All right. Is there, and I'm assuming there was no public comment, Mrs. Murray?
No, correct.
All right. Then I think we're ready for a roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
County.
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you. We're now ready for resolution number 2021-05.
A resolution declaring the designation of a certain real estate as an economic revitalization area and approving the application for property tax abatement, Mohops Incorporated personal property.
Very good. Mr. Downing?
I move to hear and approve resolution 2021-05.
Thank you. Mr. Heidi?
Second.
Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, are you going to speak to us on this?
Yeah, I'm just going to briefly start. This is a tax abatement for Mohops. As you know, they have been an incredible business in our community for decades and generations and generations. And they are getting ready as they continue to grow and to improve their business and their efficiency. They need to make some changes. And so I certainly am in 100% support of this resolution. I'm not going to steal any of his thunder. I'm going to turn it over to Mike Gibson to make a presentation and give you the information regarding the project itself, but certainly would appreciate your support on this resolution. So with that, Mike, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, council. I appreciate the opportunity to come before you. As the mayor said, Mohops has been around for a long time. We began in business here in essentially the same location in 1876, and it's kind of with a heavy heart that we have to look at moving out of downtown. I'm sure the graveyard's rumbling just a little bit. Currently, we occupy about 4 buildings here downtown. We have people doubled up in offices and so on, and often we have semis sitting in the 5th Street and on Ferry Street, kind of blocking traffic, trying to get unloaded. So we'll be consolidating these 4 buildings into one building. It'll house a new showroom and our door frame assembly. Mohops serves the greater Lafayette community, but that's not all. We serve kind of the whole state of Indiana, and we've been actually working in other states. We have location here in Lafayette, which is our headquarters, but also in Indianapolis and Terre Haute. Converting this old building has been a little bit difficult because we have records that show back in 1957, Lafayette Pharmaceutical, there was a building on there, and it's been added on to 7 times plus a warehouse. So you can imagine what we've had to go through to try to make that one building. It's gave the architects quite the challenge. The building itself is about 60,000 square feet. It's located at 526 North Earl Avenue. 30,000 of it is warehouse, which will house our product. It'll be a finish room where we make the doors and frames. It'll have our logistics office and also house our shipping and receiving. The other 30,000 will be made up of offices, a new showroom, service department, training center, a sales office, a new UL monitoring station where we monitor the Berg fire security systems for about 14,000 customers. It'll have a new complete roof put on it, a new entryway that'll go in. The electrical had to be completely upgraded in the building. All new air conditioner units, roof units, and we just looked at all of them and said they are of age, they needed to be done, and there's about 8 or 9 of those. The other thing is that we employ about 110 employees total, but in our downtown location here currently, we have about 77 people working, which you can imagine in our spot here is a little bit tight. We'll be adding 5 new employees over the tax abatement time period. The additional works that will need to get done in the building will be all new ceilings, all new flooring, new signage. We'll be recoating the parking lot and striping, a new fire system, a new security system, a new network cabling system. A large percentage of the building was block, so the block will have to have a treatment done on it so that drywall can be added. All new doors, frames, and hardware, all new lighting, new restrooms, new paint, and all new plumbing. And then in the personal property area, a new pallet racking system can be employed here because the ceilings in our current buildings are not tall enough to get any stacking height. We'll need some additional fork trucks, a complete new phone system, a new air filtration system for our welding area, and all new software. So we've been working on this project for a couple of years, trying to figure out how to make it work. And we would just really appreciate your support on this. And I would take any questions at this time that you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions about this project? Gosh, you guys are quiet tonight. All right, well, this is in my district, so I would certainly appreciate everyone's support for this. I think we're ready. Oh, was there any public comment?
No.
Okay, then I think we're ready for a roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you. And then we also need to set a public hearing for this on April 5th at 6:02.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And then we'll need to conduct a roll call vote for that.
Heidi,
Aye. Here.
Clinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Public hearing set for 6:02, April 5th.
Thank you, everybody. All right, we have one resolution left, resolution number 2021-06.
A resolution of the Lafayette Common Council approving and amending declaratory resolution and the plan of the Redevelopment Commission and the order of the Tippecanoe County Area Plan Commission.
All right, Mr. Heidi?
Move to hear resolution 2021-06.
Thank you, Mr. Clinker.
Second.
Thank you. And Ms. James, are you going to speak to us about this one?
Yes, if you don't mind. The purpose of this resolution is to add the 631 Main Street project that we discussed earlier to the economic development plan for the consolidated Creasy Central Economic Development Area. In December, the Redevelopment Commission adopted an amending declaratory resolution to add that project to the economic development plan. And in January, the Plan Commission approved that action. So this evening, we are asking that you can keep that ball rolling and approve the Plan Commission order by adopting this resolution. And if you do so, then we will move forward with the public hearing of the Redevelopment Commission, after which they may adopt a confirmatory resolution confirming what they did at the declaratory stage. And we will keep moving the ball forward on this financing related to the 631 Main Street project. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions from the council? Was there any public comment?
I received none.
Okay. Well, I guess if there's no questions from the council, we're ready for a roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Nargi,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell, Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you very much, everybody. All right, are there any reports of standing committees tonight? Reports of special committees? Mr. Mayor, do you have anything for us tonight? No? Any miscellaneous and new business? Reports of councilmen?
Madam President, I just wanted to give a thank you on behalf of the council to all the city employees who worked so hard to get us cleared out from the snow recently. It's hard to remember on such a nice day that we've had that very recently, but also a special shout out to the fleet department for keeping all those vehicles up and running. So I'm super thankful for their hard work.
Thank you. We all are, that's for sure. Is there any public comment tonight?
I received none.
Okay, awesome. All right, then we're ready for adjournment if anybody wants to make the motion. Thank you, Mr. Heidi. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Second.
Hopefully next month we'll be back in person, guys.
I hope so. Yes.
Me too. So.
This conference is no longer being recorded.